Welcome to another step in our journey of coming back from fear. As with previous podcasts, we're going to start with some deep breathing to help bring us out of our fight and flight mode. This will calm our minds so that we can be open to reflecting on our thoughts. So before we start chatting about the emotion of cruelty, let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold it for a few seconds and then exhale through our mouth. Do this a few times as I talk until you feel a calming sensation enter your body. If this is the first podcast you're listening to, where we are at in our path is stepping through a situation where an uncomfortable or stressful emotion was ignited, just to see how we can use some of our superpowers to change our remembrance of the event. So first we'll talk about a specific situation, and then we'll see how we could apply the superpowers to it. Cruelty. Just that word alone spawns so many emotions of fear. We might have a flash in our heads of Cruella de Vil, that cruel devil of a woman who was so evil she would kill puppies for their skins. Or perhaps we have visions of dictators, serial killers, terrorists, opposing countrymen. Those might come to mind. Or maybe on a more personal scale, we see specific faces of people in our lives who we felt mistreated us to the extreme. One situation that comes to my mind was when I received a phone call at work from a customer who, from the moment I said hello, proceeded to attack me with degrading, abusive words and accusations, personally attacking my character and my company that I worked for. He didn't even know me, yet he was judging me. And after he had finished berating me, he just simply hung up, not even giving me the chance to defend myself. My fear ego wanted to send him some cat poop in the mail to punish him for hurting me. That is what my ego felt he deserved. And I cannot confirm or deny if that happened. Okay, I can really confirm that it did not happen, because ultimately I decided it wasn't worth the effort or the postage. So let's take a couple of breaths as we reflect on our superpowers. Okay, the power to laugh. And I have found that in situations such as these, laughing externally during the moment may not fare well for the situation, as that can ignite the anger in the other individual even more than seem to be spewing out of them. Luckily, if the situation is happening over the phone, as was in this example, I can at least smirk and smile and laugh on the inside. But regardless of the case, as soon as it is over, we can laugh out loud when I am by myself, or at least away from the person. Doing this helps not take the experience so seriously or so personally. It's like watching an over-the-top YouTube video where someone is acting so extreme that it just becomes silly. If we stay out of the fight or flight mode. When we go into fear, we have no choice in the triggering of our body's reactions to prepare to run or to battle. We do, however, have a choice of how we apply that energy through our actions. We most likely have been conditioned by our families and society on how we feel we are supposed to act when things happen. So in the beginning, we just become aware of what we are doing as we are doing them. And slowly, we can begin to change our habit as situations happen. And eventually we can take a detour on how we react to all that adrenaline flowing through our body. With this superpower, We can apply the smirk, the smile, the laugh method, even if at first it sounds like an evil laugh. The power of thank you. With this power, we can begin to look at all the things we can be thankful for in the situation. Some may call it the silver lining, but like in this situation, I was personally thankful that it was over the phone and not in person. At least I was not in any physical danger. Also, I was grateful that this was a stranger, not someone that I would see every day in my life or that I may have, to never talk to again. There was also the relief that I did not send that cat poop to him because it would have been silly for me to lose my job over someone else's actions. I was also thankful that I am not that angry of a person in my own life, where I would treat people so unkindly, and then I would have to deal with the guilt later for having acted that way. I experienced more gratitude when the rest of my calls that week were much more pleasant to me than that one call. I mean, really, there could have been so many more of those ugly type of calls. And in some companies, that could be a majority of the type of calls you might receive. Thankful. The power of now. Staying in the moment instead of being drawn into the future or the past can allow me not to take the situation personally. I am fine right now. There is nothing to fear right now. The mean man is on the phone and not in person, so everything is cool. Being in the moment, I can just listen to him, validate his fears and needs if he allows me to speak. I don't have to become defensive in that moment. I am just here. He is just there. We are just experiencing a moment in time that will pass into another moment when it is done. Be here now. That's all we can really do in any moment. Everything else is just our fear ego trying to control the world and others, which we know is impossible and not worth the effort. But our fear ego, he will keep trying to give us all of these delicious experiences to fulfill its contract with us. Which brings us to the power of no. In this circumstance, it is very powerful. I can say no to letting his words or threats mean anything to me. When the fear ego is whispering in my ear that he might be right about how incompetent he is saying that you are, and that no one knows what they're doing. I can even mouth the words as I smile. No, 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 no. There is also power in the fact that I could hang up on him if I wanted to. Yes, it could mean that I would lose my job, but just knowing that I could and that it is my choice not to brings me peace and some satisfaction in the situation. I am the one in control of my life. Not you, Mr. I feel I can talk this way to whoever I want. The power. The power to question. So after using one or all of these other superpowers, I reach a place of calm, eventually, where I can begin to understand why the emotion of cruelty came up within me. I can begin by asking the questions, did he attack me, or was he attacking himself? Was he degrading me, or was he degrading himself? Cruelty is a judgment of someone's actions by our own rules that we have placed on the world. And this includes us judging our own actions. There would be no power in words or actions unless we believe they mean something about us, or that we believe what they are saying. If someone said to me they thought I was an alien from another planet, I could laugh that off easily inside because I don't believe that. Well, though sometimes I think I might be. But if someone instead said something cruel, like, "You are not attractive and won't find anyone else to ever love you again," well, that could shake our foundation of worth. Our fear ego could begin whispering to us, what if he is right? I mean, look at that belly on you, and you are beginning to wrinkle. Who wants that? Our fear ego starts lining up all the evidence to support its fear claim. But when we can apply all our other superpowers, we can remain calm amidst these accusations and see the truth in the circumstances. An emotionally mature individual would never act that way towards us in this situation. Something is triggering their fears, causing them to act out in fight mode, because obviously they are not fleeing. If I could stay calm and keep focusing on that their actions are about their beliefs about themselves and the world and has nothing to do with me, then I can look into them to see what is going on. I can see they are just punishing the person in the mirror. What they are throwing up on me is really a reflection of the fears they have for themselves. I can have grace and compassion for them. Because really, we can only act on the thoughts we believe. We can only act on what we believe about ourselves until we question our thoughts. This individual hasn't questioned those beliefs yet, so they are out of control of their actions. If I listen, if I take the moment to understand what they're going through, maybe I can give them some supportive words, if they let me speak. In that moment, I might be able to show some unconditional love and spark a new journey for them. Or I can just listen, and then when they are done, walk away or hang up. After all, it has nothing to do with me. My choice. Perhaps we might remember a situation where we felt we were cruel to someone else. We can also deep dive into the root of what was really going on in that moment and see the fear that was igniting the fight club within us. There is so much freedom that comes with understanding that all of my actions were my choice, and that I can forgive myself for what I did because I couldn't act any other way believing what I did in that moment. I could always reach out to the individuals involved and let them know that I was sorry for the way I acted, but it is not necessary in order to free ourselves. The judgment for ourselves is all happening inside us anyway. The act of asking for forgiveness from someone else is more for our ego's benefit, so that it can feel more comfortable releasing all that guilt it has for not perfectly meeting all its conditional love laws. But if we do ask for forgiveness with unconditional love for ourselves and others, that can spark more love in this world. And that can't really hurt anything. Next episode, we will look at the emotion of despair. Until then, take a look at one or two of the memories you have of someone being cruel to you, or you being cruel to someone else. What was really going on? Use the superpowers to investigate and bring clarity to that memory. Enjoy the process and remember, don't be cruel to a heart that's true. That's my Elvis impersonation. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, that's okay, because you never have to do anything you don't want to do.